Okay, good morning, Fierce Friday. Woo! Million Mom Movement community, here we go. My name is Stephanie Dawn. I'm the chair of the Million Mom Movement. I'm joined here by my incredible council members, and boy, do we ever have an amazing hour for you. Every Friday, we come together to curate hours of experience for the entire field, for the entire Million Mom Movement community, to really learn about what it is that we deeply care about. And today, our focus is business. The business of Purium, being a Purium brand partner, welcoming, inviting, opening up conversations around what it is that we're doing here in terms of helping community, helping family, helping friends make the connection between what they're eating and how they're feeling. That's what we're all about. So there's going to be some announcements up at the top, and then we're going to dive right into our interview with Beth Fleming, one of Purium's newest crowns. So without further ado, I want to bring on Taz Ferreira, who is my colleague in Quebec. Welcome, Taz. She's going to read the pledge.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. Sorry about the lighting. The sun decided to show up. So I am here with my family. They have the day off, and we'll be reading the pledge together. Okay, and I take such great pride with this pledge. So I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family. I pledge to choose organic foods that are minimally processed and are free of man-made ingredients. I pledge to read labels and educate myself on all aspects of clean living. I understand that my actions today will positively impact the health and environment of future generations. I am committing to sharing this movement of many. I am the Million Mom Movement. I love this pledge, and the more we say it and we share it with our kids, you know what happens? They propel our mission forward, and they share it with their friends and their friends. And this is how we are going to share this mission, this movement of many. Back to you, Stephanie. Thank you.
Awesome, Taz. Have a beautiful day with your family. Thank you for reading that. Okay, and now we're going to go to Colorado to my colleague, Ms. Jody Parker. Are you with us, Jody? Jody, are you there? Uh-oh. Shoot. Can you unmute her? She needs to be made host.
There we go. I'm now a host, and I am now unmuted. Good morning, everyone. All right, so this morning I am going to talk to you about the history of Fierce Friday and why we're here. So at the Million Mom Movement, we are very concerned with clean living in all aspects, but one of the main things that we find ourselves concerned with is the glyphosate in our environment. So glyphosate is the active ingredient in the herbicide Roundup, and it's really, really, really bad for us. It chelates minerals in the soil and in our bodies, which greatly depletes our ability to get nutrition. It acts as an antibiotic on our gut, which destroys the gut microbiome. And over time, that can lead to massive inflammation and something we call leaky gut, which is microscopic holes in the intestinal lining, and that can lead to all sorts of autoimmune issues, and it's a really big deal. It's a very big health threat. It's on 80% of our food supply, and one of the things that it is on that is deeply concerning, it's in our food supply, it's in our rainwater, it's in our soil, it's in our babies' umbilical cords. And we have to do something. And something we found was that Stephanie Dawn is the chair. Her son Zephyr was eating Cheerios every day. And you throw me a 1 in the comments if your kids had Cheerios as a first finger food. Lots of kids has that as a first finger food. And it has more parts per million of glyphosate in it than any other food on the market. So we began a petition, and I am going to throw that petition, sorry, let me copy and paste it here, right into the chat right now. And we would like you to go sign that petition and then share that petition asking General Mills, please, oh please, take the glyphosate out of the Cheerios and the other kids' cereal and out of all the food, period. But if it's the number one finger food that children are eating, it's really, really important that we save their health, because if we're starting them out in life with such an uneven balance, then, you know, what does that mean? We already have 54% of children with a chronic health condition. Let's see what we can do to change that and be the change we wish to see in the world. So that petition is in our chat. We would love for you to sign it, and then we would love you to throw it up on your social media. Would you be willing to sign a petition to get poison out of our food? And then you can send it to your friends. And we're getting back. We're going fast today. So Stephanie, back to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And it's my intention to actually walk that petition into General Mills. So there you go. That's the first time I've ever said that publicly, but I do intend to do that. So I'd like to bring on Carmela Velarde, fellow council member, to share about our Million Mom Movement scholarships. Something that I'm really, really proud about is that we here at Purium, we give, and we give big time. So Carmela, are you with us today to share about that?
I am, Stephanie. Hello, everyone. So I have been privy for the past 7 years, being a part of Purium as a brand partner, to the incredible economic impact it can have on families financially. And I'm so proud to be part of the council to present this scholarship for those who may not know about it. I'm dropping, let's see if we can drop it into the chat too. If one of the council members can do that. We give I'm going to share screen as well so that everyone can see where to go to share with people who they might know who would be an applicant. So there's a scholarship tab that's dedicated that you can educate people about what it is that we are offering. And it is a value of the business first. So we are a business forward Zoom today. So for those of you who might need some support for these friends or family members who want to join our partnership, but may not have the financial money now to join, there is a scholarship for people monthly that we offer these scholarships to. It's $1,250 in retail value of the organic superfoods, along with the business. So we as a council are also the upline, along with a diamond sponsor. So you will need that in order to apply. And there's an application right here down below. It's really simple how to begin. And I have the privilege to have so many recipients in my downline that I get to work with that are really excited to uplevel their lives through this opportunity. It's really incredible to watch this development within our council to really offer this opportunity for others in the field. So please share it to your friends and family. And we look forward to getting these applications in for really business-focused applicants, people who want to share their voice and want to share what Purium is all about. And Nayeva Flore, she has wonderful platforms to connect them to us more, their stories, the stories of the applicants and the recipients. So I pass the word on.
Great, thank you so much. All right, Nayeva Flore, aloha in Kauai. Will you please come on and share how folks can get connected to our social networks, to all of our profiles?
Of course. Aloha, everyone. Happy Friday. So we have several social media platforms that you can follow us on and participate in. First, we have our Facebook page, Million Mom Movement. And then we also have a Facebook group, Million Mom Movement Official. So we want to invite you to join that group, become a part of that community, invite your friends there, and share what's happening in your life, mom hacks, tips and tricks, things like that within that group. We want to make it active. We want to support everyone in there. And then we also have our Instagram page, which is Million Mom Movement. And on our Instagram page is where I mostly feature you guys. So if you're on Instagram and using it, please share your stories and use our hashtags, Million Mom Movement, I am the Million Mom Movement, or we are the Million Mom Movement. And I can find you that way. So please share your stories on Instagram, follow our pages. I also just posted in the comments our link tree, which is the link tree that you'll find on our Instagram page link. And that has all the links to the scholarship that Jody just shared, the links to our petition, the links to all the things that we've shared this morning. So I just wanted to make it super easy for you guys to find where to find these things, including our website link. And I'll pass it back to you, Stephanie. Thank you all for being here today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Naiva. And thank you, Council. I so appreciate all of you. All right, without further ado, we have a crown in our midst, a Purium crown. Her name is Beth Fleming, and I'm going to read a short bio about her so that you know a little bit more about her. She is a mother of two, and she is a certified regenerative detox specialist. Pretty important in this day and age. I've employed one in my my experience here. As well, she's a healthy living and lifestyle entrepreneur. She has a deep passion for helping people thrive in all areas of life, physical, mental, financial, and spiritual. She loves to travel, dance, and play in nature. Her favorite song is Dancing in the Moonlight. And one of her favorite quotes is, "People who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do." Welcome, Mary Beth. Oh, we might need to unmute her, Rachel Quayle, if you could find her.
Okay, yeah, I'm unmuted. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Mary Beth. Welcome to Fierce Friday.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I love you guys so much and all the work you're doing. It's just so exciting.
Yay, we're so glad to have you. And congratulations on your success of ranking crown with Purium.
Thank you. It's been amazing. It's been such an amazing journey and so much fun. And I'm just happy to be here to share it with you guys today.
Yay, cool. We want to break it down a little bit. This is our Business Forward Zoom, our Business Forward Friday. And, you know, I've been privy to a lot of your trainings because I'm also in the team with Sarah Rhinelander, and I've really enjoyed watching your ascension. It's been profound to behold, but I want to go back a little bit. I want to go back in time and get a little bit of some herstory, if we may. So take us back to your own health journey, your own experience with your family, and what brought you to being in the health field, number one.
Yeah, so this has been a long journey. I've been on the nutrition realm for like 15 plus years, and it really started with my mother. She's been an Iyengar yoga instructor for over 30 years. And so I grew up in a healthy minded household. But really, when I started to get serious about learning about health was when my mom had some health concerns come up. And then my sister was also in a severe car accident, and we wanted to go natural routes for both. And so it really led us down many different avenues and eventually led me to Regenerative Detox, where I got my certification, and just learning about how the body is an amazing healing machine when we give it the right environment. And that's part of what we're doing here with the superfoods, is creating an environment where our body can heal itself. Really, I mean, you know, if you get a cut, it heals. So we just have to create the environment for that to happen. And so it was really through my family's experience and watching them heal that I was just so turned on to it, and then sharing with other people and just seeing people change their lives through our own stories and so on and so forth. And then kind of what led me to Purium specifically is my postpartum journey. So I was really healthy going into being a mama. You know, my pregnancy was really great with my first son. And it wasn't until about 13 months postpartum that I started to feel like, whoa, I'm depleted. Like, what's happening? Like, my first year, I felt great, you know, and I was in the health field. So I was like doing all the things, eating all organic, doing all my herbs, everything. And I'm like, what is missing? You know, what is missing? And that's what really got me turned into learning about soil health and really how depleted our food is in nutrients, because our soil is devoid of nutrients and minerals as well. And so that's kind of what really intrigued me about Purium, is learning more about, you know, real organic farming and real regenerative farming, and having a lot of nutrients in the soil to start with, which then transfers to us.
Brilliant. I love hearing that backstory. So you're recognizing that you were nutritionally depleted. That's how you found Purium. So somebody in your life was just like, hey, I can help you.
Yeah. And it's funny. It wasn't even actually the nutrition that sparked me. It was the business. Because I have a whole other backstory. Like I knew I was depleted. I was looking for something, but I wasn't out there looking for products. I just knew something was missing. And then Purium kind of fell into my lap because really I was looking for an alternative solution to make an income. I was working as a, nutritionally, but I was also doing a bunch of side jobs because at the time I was a single mama. My husband was over in Guinea, West Africa. We met there. We conceived our first child there. I came back to the States to have the baby, but if you've ever been in that process of immigration, it took 2 full years. So
Wow.
my husband didn't meet our first child until our first child was 18 months old. And so I was in this like push to try to bring him here, which is a very expensive process if any of you have been through that. And so I was working like 3 to 4 jobs and I had my baby on my back and I was just like, this is too much. I'm depleted, 1, because I'm not getting the right nutrition, but 2, I'm just like burning the candle at both ends. And so really I was praying for a solution of how can I work from home and be with my kid. And before having my kid, I was like a traveler. I just like lived a lifestyle where you work really hard and then go travel and then go volunteer and then come back and work really hard. And so I was kind of like, whoa, what's happening? Like, I don't want to do the 9 to 5 grind. I can't figure this out. And so I was praying to feel better within my body, but I was really praying for the financial means to change my life around into the direction that I wanted to make it go. And that's when Purium fell into my lap.
I love it. I love that you came in with business forward attitude. Right on. So, so talk to us then about when that was exactly, right, Beth?
Yeah. So that was just about 2.5 years ago. And I was, I was literally praying for something. I was like, there's gotta be something where you can have service, make an impact on the world, do what you love to do, and also have time freedom and location freedom. Like there's gotta be a solution. And I was really amazed in finding Purium of just, because of my lifestyle, I wasn't going to bend in any way, shape, or form on quality. And that was really what got me in Purium, was like, wow, this is real nutrition that can help so many people transform their lives. And this is a mission I can stand behind. So that's why I jumped into the business right away, because I recognized that power and that potential. And I didn't really know much about the business model or how it worked, but I was like, there's something here. People are doing it. So why can't I do it? And that was 2.5 years ago.
I love it. Wow. I love it. And so talk to us about what the last 2.5 years have been like. When did you really start to get some traction and really make some moves here with your business?
Yeah, I started right out of the gate. Really what happened for me was my second full month, Leslie Zan, when she was just being introduced to our company, she was holding a conference in LA. And I didn't really have the money for it at the time, but I was like, I got to go see what this is about. So I flew out to LA and I went to that conference, and she just instilled like, you can hit diamond in 3 months, you can do it. And so I was there that's when I got to meet all the top income earners of our company at the time. I met Sarah and, and I was like, oh, wow, this is real. This is awesome. And that really lit the fire under me to build this as a legit business. And also I had a really strong why of bringing my husband here and financially trying to make that happen. So yeah, I mean, I hit diamond, I think my 4th month into the business, and I had set a goal for myself to try to be blue diamond within a year, which if you're watching is around like $5,000 a month. That was kind of my goal. I was like, wow, if I could make $5,000 a month out of this business, like this would be amazing. That was more than I'd ever made in the past. So, I was really excited to give that a try. So I just started building a team from the get-go. And yes, I had a very nutritional focus as well, because that's my background, but I did both. I also, in college, I got a business degree as well. So I kind of mended the two and just started out of the gate of building the community that I wanted to build that was going to be able to go out and share this message. Because one of the issues I had with being like a one-on-one nutritionist, the reason I never took it that far is because I never felt like I was helping enough people. It was always just like I could talk to 5 to 6 people in a day, maybe, and that was pushing it. And then when I had this idea of like, whoa, I could like build a team and build a community where all of us are sharing this mission, and then the word can get spread way further than I could ever do on my own. That was really the fuel for my fire of like, this is the way to make a larger impact on people's lives.
Mhm. Brilliant. Wow. I love hearing that you had a business degree. Will you talk a little bit more about that and how you've been able to leverage that within your Purium business?
Yeah, I wouldn't say the business degree really helps you in the network marketing field because it's just so different. But I did the entrepreneurial, like I had an entrepreneurial emphasis. So I think what it really helped me is just that organization around like setting goals, setting financial goals, and also working with teams. Like I did a lot of team projects in college around business entrepreneurship. And so that was really helpful for me in kind of that human resource management area. But I would also say that the network marketing field is its own niche for sure. And what I really loved about it is the creativity, because in my business degree, I didn't feel like I had a lot of creativity there. But here I get to be an entrepreneur, but I still feel like there's so much creativity within this business. Like, we get to do it how we want to do, have events, connect with the type of people we want to connect with, run our businesses with our own heart and our own intention. And that was kind of the gap for me learning about, in college about business. I was clear that I didn't want to be someone else. Like I wanted to be my own boss. I was very clear with that after getting my business degree, and not wanting to go into the normal corporate system. And so this was the niche for me of being able to have that creativity as an entrepreneur.
Brilliant. And so would you say that you're a natural leader, or would you say that your leadership skills have been developed over the last year and a half or 2 years and a half?
I would say I have a lot of natural leading qualities, but I would say that this business has allowed them to really enhance and come out. Like, I feel like I was hiding some of my natural born leadership qualities, and I just didn't have the outlet to really express them. And then when I got into Purium, I was like, oh, I can lead here. Like I can do this. This is my people. This is my community. This is my mission. And so it's really allowed me to just like sprout and growth in my leadership. And it's been so fun. It's been such a personal development for myself. And it's been a lot of growth edges, like public speaking is a big growth edge for me, and it's like really taking that initiative of my business is 100% my responsibility. And it's like, look, we're a team, but we're also each individually 100% responsible for our businesses. So how can we come to the plate and step to the plate to create what we want to create here in a collaborative space?
And the other thing that really stands out for me is you've been able to do this with your sister. Will you talk a little bit about that, Mary Beth?
Yeah, it's been so fun. It's actually a family business. My mom does it. My stepdad, my other sister's a customer. My two stepbrother and sister are in it. Like it's a family business, and we're so grateful to Purium because seriously, Purium is, paying my entire family. Like my whole family is building our dreams because of this company. And it's been really amazing to have my sister on board because we've always done things together. And, she'll do something and I'll kind of like follow her coattails. And Purium was my thing that she kind of came and followed my coattails. And she actually didn't get involved right away. She was like watching me for like 3 months, like, let's see if this is something real. And I actually gifted her an athlete transformation pack and was like, Rita, just do it with me. And then ever since then, she's been on board and she's blossomed so much in her own leadership and built such an amazing team. And really the strategy we've had is we've just gone with like, who are the most inspiring, motivating people in your life? Like, who are the coolest people and let's build a team. So a lot of our teams are built on like our best friends. Like we work with all of our best friends. It's so rad. And included in that is my family. So it's really a family affair, and we're in it for the bigger vision, for the long term of what we can create and the impact we can create on a bigger scale.
So amazing. I'm curious, who's older?
Rita's 5 years older.
She is. Wow. So the little sis is a crown above but Rita's climbing herself. She's a red diamond, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's not going to be long before you'll both be crowned. So exciting. So, all right, let's pivot a little bit here. I want to talk about how it is that you've been either leading with or how your organization embodies the Million Mom movement.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Million Mom Movement, to be honest, is one of the main things that got me into Purium. Like, one, it was the quality of the products and the integrity I could see in the company, but it was really the Million Mom Movement. I was like, oh, that's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to get my voice into a community that's passionate about sharing greener living with more people. And so Million Mom Movement has been a huge influence on my journey. And I've helped, probably 6 to 8 people award the scholarship, which has been amazing, like changing their lives. And I just lead with that idea that we are in this together. Like, it's not just me out here trying to do this thing, but it's like I am part of a community, and we are part of such bigger things, like the glyphosate petition and all the education you guys do around glyphosate, and the amazing people you bring in. Like, Where's the Wheat? I watched that interview that you did. Like, you guys are really bringing this into a global perspective and bringing in different voices that aren't even part of Purium. So that's where I really tried to lead with the Million Mom Movement, is like, you don't have to be a Purium member to be part of this. You can be a community member who's just interested in what we're doing and participate that way too. So I love the bigger community aspect of the way that Million Mom Movement leads with. And then, just not to mention, I mean, being a single mom myself at a period of time in my life, like, I just know how deeply people need this nourishment, and sometimes it's not accessible to all. And that's been one of the things that I really love about the Million Mom is you guys are really working towards creating more accessibility for more people. And that's really, really important to me, is speaking to all different communities and all different, if people can afford it or they can't afford it, but still having access.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant. And so would you say that you use Fierce Fridays as a prospecting tool?
Absolutely. And it's a big one on my team. I'm always promoting it, again, because of the different voices that you guys bring in. It's amazing. Like, I love that it's not just Purium people. You bring in all different voices. And so, yes, my team is always on Fierce Friday calls. I mean, the majority of them, and we're always promoting them and always sharing them. And I'm always inviting in my stories, always inviting on social media, always talking about, what the movement's bigger goal is. And I really try to instill that into my team, again, because it's not just about the small piece here, but it's about the bigger thing that we're creating together.
Yeah, it truly is a community. Thank you for all that you're doing to promote it. And the council really appreciates that. Now I'd like to ask you what I think a lot of maybe folks who are just starting out with a Purium business, how have you managed to do it? First of all, how old are your children right now, Mary Beth?
Yeah, so I have a 3.5-year-old and a 14-month-old.
Oh,
Plus,
wow.
my husband is from Guinea, West Africa. So total cultural bit, it's almost like having another child in its own way, because we're learning the language and doing homework with them and all the things. So I say I have 2.5 children and a wonderful husband.
So let's talk about life-work balance, because this is a biggie for so many of us moms that work at home and that have children that we're caring for. Will you speak a little bit about your journey in terms of your rise to success and how you mitigated really managing it all?
Yeah, and it's been a lot, and it's changed a lot. I remember in the beginning when I was working other jobs, the only time I had was from like 9 to midnight when my son was sleeping. And I did that like 3 to 4 times a week. And it was not ideal to be reaching out to people, but I just got really clear on, okay, this is when I'm prospecting, this is when I'm following up. And I would say in the beginning of my journey, it was a little more pieced together. I would just kind of do it whenever the time was available. And then as I really started to grow a team and wanted to show up more fully, I've just really had to create boundaries around, this is work time and this is family time. And also really pull in support too. On my crown run, I had my mama close by me, because I was like, I need the support, because I really want to give my team as much as I can, So I think it's a balance of boundaries, also asking for help when you need it. And just, our whole business is about finding solutions for people. So if you want to make this business work for you, you got to find the solutions for your own life and what you got to pull in to make it work. But I've just gotten really strategic with, what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. So prospecting is like my number one thing that I do first thing in the morning undisturbed, and then I take some time in the afternoon when I'm leading calls for people and doing follow-ups, and usually at night when my children are asleep is when I do some social media. So I kind of have it in a system and in a flow that works really well for me. And then again, for me, it's been really important to create that boundary with my family, because there was at one point where I felt like I was working and trying to raise my kids at the same time, and it was a little scattered. And I found that for me, I'm much more present in both situations if I can just, okay, this is when I'm working, this is when I have family. And sometimes it's really early in the morning when I'm working and later at night, but it's worth it to me to have that time, freedom, and flexibility with my family during the day.
Wow, amazing. That's impressive. So impressive. So, gosh, well, I'm curious, we've got my council here. I'm curious if there's any questions from the council. I mean, your success has been phenomenal in such a short amount of time. And I'm sure you must have some steps, some tips, I've been the recipient of many of those over multiple trainings with Bliss Ohana. But I'm curious, council, do you have any questions specifically for Mary Beth around, because so many within the council are running for the Color, Diamond, and Crown ranks as well, and many who are joining us today as well. So, and we even have some other crowns here too. I see Eric is here and Christina's here. So, and Rachel's here. Yeah. So, my curiosity is, do you have any tips connected to, like, let's say, for instance, someone's just starting out, they're just starting out, they've got their kids at their feet. Like, what would you tell them, Mary Beth, to, to support them in knowing that they can achieve whatever their goals are?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I just say, what are your biggest dreams? That's where I start. And my beautiful upline, Christina Amon, has really instilled that with me, is like, start with the why. Because when you try to start with the action steps, sometimes it's too like nitty gritty for people and they can't see the bigger picture of it when you've got a million other things going on in your life. So I start with the why. I ask, what is your dream for your life? What are you desiring to be different? And I get really clear there, and I say, okay, well, what would it be worth it to you to achieve that? Like, how many hours a week could you put towards this business if this business was going to be the thing that could get you to that why or what you're desiring? And so I get really clear with them, like, what is the amount of time you have, whether it's 2 hours a week or it's 10 hours a week. Okay, let's work with that. And I just really work with each individual based on what they have available to them. And I also try to really help people see the bigger vision of what we're doing here, of what can happen in the long term. Because I know sometimes people get this idea with network marketing that it's like this get rich quick kind of thing. And for me, it's a way to build long-term wealth. So I just try to get in the mindset with people of, this is possible, but it takes consistency, it takes dedication, it takes some commitment, and it also takes just the decision to do it. And if you have the strong enough desire to achieve your why, you will do it. Like, my why was so set in stone. I was like, I'm bringing my husband here no matter what it takes, like whatever it takes. And so I saw this business as a vehicle to be able to achieve that. And so I was just clear, like, okay, wherever I have to budge and move and make it work, we'll make it work. Right. And so I just really try to work with people with that bigger vision of, what are you willing to give up maybe in this short period of time to achieve the longer term? And Christina always says, short-term sacrifices for long-term gain. So I really try to instill that it is the long-term gain. And then obviously the fast start bonuses. I try to coach people to get onto the fast start program as quick as possible. So if it's a brand new mama and they've got a million things going on and they can only spend 2 hours a week, I say, okay, great. The first thing we're going to do is your 10 lives. And get you out there speaking your voice and get you out there with your community. The second thing we're going to do is make your list. Who are the coolest people that you want to work with? And I really try to instill this idea of leverage of, if you don't have a ton of time, look for people who have a ton of time that would be aligned with this mission that can work with you. Or if you don't have a business mindset, look for people who are business mindset, or if you don't have much of a health background, look for people who have a health background. And then you can really leverage all that together and create the team. Because for me, the reason this business model is so brilliant is because of the leverage. Like a lot of us, myself being a previous entrepreneur, I was used to doing everything on my own and feeling like, oh, I don't have time for it because I can't do the accounting and I can't do the marketing and I can't do the distribution and all the things. But with Purium, really our only job in the very beginning is to connect in with our network and create relationships. That's really the number one job when you're first starting. And then you have your team that you can lean on for, doing the connect calls and providing the resources and doing the whole spiel. But I just try to get people in that mindset of, actually one thing that Fraser said was, create network marketing is a business of making your strangers your friends and your friends your family. So that's what I try to instill in new people. I'm like, this is a business of relationship. And if you're committed to doing this, just go out there and spread your love, spread your joy, spread yourself with the world and see what relationships you can create in the process that are going to turn into your community that help you be successful in this business. You're muted, Steph.
Mary Beth is referring to Fraser Brooks. So if you don't know who Fraser Brooks is and you're really wanting to be successful with Purium, you need to know who this fellow is. He has a YouTube channel. He has an Instagram profile. He is hysterical and he is so inspiring. He's a breath of fresh air, right, Mary Beth? I so love that we got to have him the other day. It was amazing. So, well, this is just so juicy and wonderful. I'm excited for folks who are brand new that are picking up what you're putting down, Mary Beth. And I'd really like to open up this call to the field. I'm going to need help from those of you who are on a computer because I'm on my phone today. I had some technical difficulties. If you'd like to raise your hand and ask Mary Beth a question, we are going to move into the Q&A portion of Fierce Friday. I'm really wanting to hear more from the field. There were so many Fierce Fridays where it's just packed with content, and I appreciate the back and forth and being able to support you and hearing your voices and support you with coaching. So we have a crown here and who has a lot to offer. So who would like to ask a question? Okay. Has anyone raised a hand yet? I'm not used to doing this on my phone.
We do have a question in the chat about how did you start hosting local events, Mary Beth?
Yeah, so it's a little different now in the context of what we're dealing with. But when I first started, my mom owned a yoga studio. So I just started doing, Rita and I, actually my sister, we started doing like monthly educational events, and the Million Mom Movement was actually kind of the platform I followed, because I was like, oh, they do these calls and like each one is on a different educational piece. And so we just started doing these events where, 1 month we were teaching around what is glyphosate. Another one we did like what is gut health, another one is we did like superfood happy hours where we would have little superfood samplers and just talk to people about organic food and why it's important to them and share our stories of what got us into eating healthy and all of that. And if you know my family, my mom is kind of a very predominant person in the community as being a health warrior. And so a lot of people knew that if they were coming to these events, they were going to get some kind of health education event. And we just started doing them, and we started getting creative of trying to broaden our network. And we would make an Eventbrite, and we'd say, if you invite a friend, you get an extra entry into a raffle, and we're going to be raffling off some amazing organic superfood nutrition. So we would just try to get creative in how we were bringing in new voices and new participants to the events. And we always had a raffle. We always had education. And that to me is really the key, especially if you're doing this business through social media is how can you add value to your community? That's what's most important. And so offering education, offering value, offering your stories, offering something that people can take away with feeling complete, even if they don't join Purium right away, but they can take away feeling like, wow, I gained something from that. And that's going to continue your relationship with them. So my biggest thing with events and is just how can you add value to your community? And maybe you have an idea of some people you want to invite, and you just ask them, like what's inspiring you in your life right now? What do you want to learn about? And then you create an event that's around what the people in your community are desiring to learn about. It's about getting creative and figuring out how can you offer value and how can you get more people to get eyes on what you're doing. So I hope that's helpful.
Very much. Thank you. And I've got a little help from my council members here because I can't see the chat and do all the things on my phone. So we've got a bunch of questions coming in the chat. And Carmela, if you just keep on asking those questions, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, happy to. And I love that we inspired you, Mary Beth, with our Fierce Friday topics. I just wanted to highlight that. Please use this as a tool, everyone. Really, we've got so many wonderful content topics on our YouTube channel. So please refer to that. And then Tal Kapoor asks, I can't raise my hand, but how do you train your downline to approach their prospects? And then in tandem to that, how do you start conversations? Rosa Munoz is asking as well.
Yeah, great question. So for me, there's like two approaches. There's like kind of an indirect approach, and then there's a more direct approach. So Fraser Brooks actually talks about the indirect approach, where if you want to launch your business or relaunch your business, just start as many conversations as you can, like 200 to 300 conversations. And it's really just, hey, how are you? Like, it's just starting the relationship. It's just starting conversations and just like being normal, like having a normal conversation with people and being interested in other people's lives and what they're doing and what they're up to. And, most of the time, if you're asking questions to people that are genuine, they're going to ask you questions back. And then you have an opportunity to share what you're up to, what you're passionate about, what's exciting you about your Purium business or your health journey or any of that. So the indirect approach is just starting as many conversations as you can. When I first started the business, I know that on our action plan, we say create a list of 30 names, but I started a list of 250 names was my very first goal. And my goal wasn't to go to every single one of those people and say, hey, I just started a new business. Do you want to check it out? It was like, no, I just want to reach out to these people and start creating a relationship, because we talk about this a lot in the business where it's just planting seeds. And, some of those seeds are going to fruit now, some of them are going to fruit later. So that's one indirect approach of just, hi, how are you? What's going on in your life? And being genuinely interested in what's going on in another person's life and where we may intersect. And then the more direct approach, which I also really like, is, create that list of the coolest people, the most motivated people, the most inspiring people, the people you would love to work with. Robin Tull always says this: if you were creating $100,000 organization, who would be the people you hire? So I create that list, and I'm more of a direct approach of, hey, I thought of you because I was thinking of the most motivating people in my life and you came to mind. How's it going? Or, hey, I thought of you because I just started this really exciting online venture and I know that you're an online entrepreneur, and I was just curious if you might be able to chat ideas back and forth. Or, hey, I thought of you because I know that you're really into the health field and I'm super excited about some nutrition that I just came across. I'm curious if you might want to chat about it. So there's the indirect approach of creating relationships, kind of that creating strangers into friends. And then there's more of that direct approach of your friends into your family, and really trying to let people know what you're doing and bring your heart forth and your passion forth. And then see where the conversation goes. And I'm a big fan of talking on the phone. My big thing is like, I initiate a lot of conversations through text and messenger, but my number one goal is to get people either on the phone with me first and then get them on a connect call, because I think that is the absolute best resource we have, is just that, bringing in that third party voice to really show what we're doing here. So big advocate of phone calls.
And that leads me to ask a little bit more deeper, your duplication process of a system. So tell me a little bit about your own team system of duplication as far as definitely the three-way call, but then is there specifically like a page or we have different methods in our own team? I'd love to hear it from you.
Yeah, so, it's different for brand partners and then customers, but yeah, I always encourage a connect call prior to enrollment, so they can understand that that's a system that we use and really get their questions answered and learn more about the business before even joining. So the connect call before enrollment, I think, is really important. And then doing a launch call within the first 24 to 48 hours after to reinstill, like, okay, let's get on the fast track. And I'm a big advocate of trying to get everyone who wants it onto the fast track, because the quicker you can pay your product back, the quicker you're going to see what this can be for you. So I instill that. And then we have, we do the action plan. That's a big thing that we do, as well as I always try to have people fill out their action plan and either post it in our group or send me or their upline a picture of it. And then I know, okay, awesome, they're ready to get on their launch call. And if they don't do the action plan prior to the launch call, it's not the end of the world. I just always try to preface with that. And then obviously we have our onboarding site that we send people through to get through that material. And I basically just tell people, the quicker you can get myself or your upline on 10 connect calls, the quicker you're going to get this business up and running. And that was advice that I got from Sarah Rylander when I first jumped in. I'm a big advocate of the connect call, and then also plugging people into the team trainings. I personally, a big part of my growth was listening to calls and like learning about the company and the community, like when I'm doing the dishes or when I'm driving. And, so I just try to encourage people to absorb themselves as much as they can in the community in the beginning, so that they really can get an idea for what this is. And it's all about repetition and hearing things multiple times, so the connect call, the fast start, the team trainings, and then, continually connecting them up with their upline. So whenever someone on my team brings them into our team, we have a chat thread that starts immediately, where it's like me and the person and the uplines. And so that these people are integrated into the process, knowing, oh, wow, look at all these people I have that are supporting me. So the team chat thread is huge. And we really encourage people to ask all their questions in there, because then we can all learn from each other, and we can all, again, leverage each other's time to answer questions and get on calls. So that's a big thing that we duplicate. And then, just leaning into the resources, like the resources that Purium has given us, like I Learn and the different Facebook pages. And then we've also created an additional kind of health support medium where people can go and get a little more health support if that's more of their focus. But those are the main things, is just really keep connecting in with your team, keep meeting your upline, keep meeting your sidelines. And Christina and I have created a accountability group that's been really amazing for new people to come into, because it gets them to do their action plan right away. It gets them on a call with 30 to 40 other people who are working their business. And so they can see how people are doing it. And we're big on, having people share what's working for them, and how to, what's maybe challenging them, and just hearing different stories. Again, it's just like the quicker you can get integrated into the community, the quicker you can see what this can be. So does that answer what you're asking?
It's from the field. So I believe it was great to hear that process. Thank you so much. Your upline is asking, what are your daily negotiables? Christina Amon is asking you to share on.
I think she said non-negotiables, Carmela.
Non-negotiables, correct?
That's important. Important distinction.
Yeah. So my daily non-negotiables is social media is a big part of my business, because that's really how I've grown my network. So being consistent on social media is a non-negotiable for me. Whether it's, I don't post every single day, but one big tool I use for prospecting is just every day being on there and seeing, oh, this person liked this, I'm going to reach out to them. Oh, this person commented on this post, I'm going to reach out to them. And also finding people on social media that I'm resonating with and developing a relationship with them. So that's probably one of my biggest tools for prospecting at this point in my business, So at least an hour of my own personal prospecting and social media time is a non-negotiable for me. Another non-negotiable for me is spending time with my team, connecting. So a big part of what that is going into my back office and just seeing what's happening. Like, oh, wow, so-and-so is really close to director. Oh, wow, this person's really close to the 1K club. Like, I should check in with them. I should see how they're doing. Even if they're 8 levels down to me, like, whoa, I haven't met this person. Maybe I should chime in and just say hello, introduce myself. So I definitely spend a good hour or so in the day really connecting in with my team and just trying to have a presence there and show that really what this business is having multiple layers of leadership that you can rely on, and also multiple layers of support that you can rely on. So that's another non-negotiable for me. Another non-negotiable is just having a lot of fun with my business. So anytime I kind of get into like the rut or the stagnation of like, oh, I don't want to prospect, or, oh, I've reached out to my millions of lists, or, like I get into one of those moods. I just decide like, okay, how can I have the most fun with my business in this moment? And I often ask myself that question a lot so that I can just get back into the creativity of it. And sometimes that means doing a live interview with a cross line, or sometimes that means reaching out to someone that's on my chicken list just to like get me out of a funk, or, I just try to get creative and really operate from that space of inspiration and fun. So that's a total non-negotiable for me. And that's pretty much it. I would say prospecting is a non-negotiable, supporting my team is a non-negotiable, and having fun is a non-negotiable.
I love that. Oh, so great. There's a question in the chat. What are your favorite tools from the app, Mary Beth?
Yeah, I utilize the app a ton in the beginning, and I don't find myself utilizing it as much anymore, but I definitely send my digital gift code card. I definitely love the little videos in there, like Dave's Core 4 video. In the beginning, I utilized the podcasts. I think that's what they're called, the little podcasts in there where you hear Dave talking about gut health, or you can listen to a business opportunity call. Like one of the jobs I had before Purium became my full income was I was cleaning houses. So I would go in the app and I would just like turn on those little things and listen and learn. So I've probably gone through every single video on the app and listened, if not sent them to someone, but really listened for my own personal education as well. And then I always go in and I check about the weekly events that are happening. So especially if you're wanting to share with your team or share on your social media, there's always the little image in there so you can see what's happening this week that you can excite and invite to. So those are probably my favorite app tools.
Cool. Yeah, I always tell new brand partners, in addition to iLearn, get into that app, watch and listen to everything. See what speaks to you, right? See what speaks to your heart, because what resonates with you is what you're going to be able to share more so, right? So brilliant. Great. All right. We have just a couple more minutes here. Does anyone else have a question for Mary Beth? I'm just looking here in the chat. Okay. So the question here from Tal Kapoor, when you start the conversation, do you then talk about the products or go straight into doing the business? Yeah, that's a good question, Tal. Like, how often do you lead with the business, Mary Beth?
I almost exclusively lead with the business. Because for me, the business is the best product we have. Like I said, in the beginning, I was very product focused, but I quickly realized that just selling product is like another job. Like if that's all you're going to do is just try to sell a bunch of product each month, it's just like it's another job. You got to do it. And when you lean into the business, that's where you get that leverage, and that's where you get to work and interact with teams and work with their people. And that's where I really have a lot of fun. And that's where really the long-term financial gain comes from. And so for me, when I lead with the business, it's really like leading with what are people's desires, because this business has allowed me to achieve my why. It's allowed me to expand my vision. It's allowed me to expand my why. And I'm in the belief if more people were living in their why, if more people were having their JOB be their joy of being, the world would really be quite a better place, right? And so that's what excites me about the business, because the business is the opportunity to do that. So when I start conversations, it's really about, oh, hey, how's your life? What's exciting you right now? What's inspiring right now? Like I'm really learning about people's whys. And I always try to be more interested in the other person than personally interesting. So it's really a process of like speaking to people and figuring out what it is that they're excited about. And sometimes it is health. Like sometimes they're like, the most exciting thing for me right now is my health. And I'm like, oh, great. And so I do go into the health conversation. But I find it's a lot easier to lead with the business and then segue to product versus trying to just focus on product and then be like, oh, and by the way, this is a business I'm doing. It just seems to be a little bit more of a harder route. So I definitely am in the belief, like, you got to have your customers and keep your customers, your happy customers, but then also open the door to who might really want this financially. And if you would have prospected me, like actually when Christina did prospect me, the first few times she reached out to me solely about product. And because I have a nutritional background, I was doing regenerative detox, I was like, no, I'm good. I got that field covered. I need it. But it was when she opened my eyes to the opportunity of what the business could be or the potential financially could be, that's when I was like, oh, that's what I'm really looking for. So,
Right.
yeah, I really like to lead with the business, and when in doing that, lead with the why. What are people looking to create?
Okay. Does that answer your question, Tal? Because Tal's like, she says she has the experience of people running the other way when she talks about the business. So, does that answer your question, Tal? By all means, come off mute or unmute her, Rachel. I'd love to hear what she has to say there. Rachel Quayle, can you unmute Tal Kapoor? It's so interesting because sometimes we have people just easily coming.
I'm trying. Yeah, I don't know. It's just giving me ask to unmute. I don't see where.
Oh, strange.
I got it. Hi.
Okay.
Mary Beth, first off, thank you so much for being here today. I'm loving hearing your presentation of everything around this. And yes, Stephanie, this is, very well, this is where I get stuck. I've always been talking about the products, and it's mostly because I've had such a huge transformation personally with the products, and I've been doing this for 4 years. So people know that, my life is surrounded by the products, and I'm trying to break that wall down and like really get through that. But I struggle with my own stuff because I have my own anxieties around finances. So I know that that's a huge wall that I'm trying to bust through that. In the meantime, at the same time, rather, I'm also trying to find the right words to say to someone that, this could be a really profitable business. And it's also because I'm still at a executive level. So I haven't broken through that this is such a great success. I know it is. I see the potential. I know like half of the people in this company. So I know that the potential is there. I'm having, I don't know, it's like every time I start talking about the business, they just kind of wander off in the other direction. And I'm just like, So, yeah, I know this is a lot of work to get through this, and I'm really looking forward to getting to the other side of it, because just like how you said, how I just want to help as many people as I possibly can. And I can only do so much myself. And I know that if I have a team, that word can start spreading more and more and more and more. So
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm not stopping.
Yeah. Beautiful. And I think there's two components to that. I think one is the personal work of when you see resistances coming up in your prospects, most likely it's because you have an internal resistance there. You might not even know about it. So I'm really big on the personal work of like, what is it that I'm putting out there to my audience that I may not be aware of, but they're picking up on it and they're running away because I'm running away. So there's like that piece, right? Which is a whole nother thing. So I'm big on the personal development work there of just figuring out what your own personal resistance may be and how to move through that. And then the second piece, like Christina saying in the chat, is yes, talking to more people and just knowing that you are planting seeds. But also I remember I was at that level of like executive and diamond, and I wasn't fully confident in knowing financially what this could be. Even though I was seeing it, I didn't know what it could be for myself. I did a lot of referrals. And so it was a really great way to segue, instead of being like, hey, I was thinking about you because I'm doing this business and I thought you'd be a wonderful brand partner or whatever, you know, instead of having that, it's like, hey, you're a dear friend of mine, or hey, I know we don't know each other that well, but I'm in this amazing company that's working to change people's lives. And I'm really excited about the financial and the health opportunities that it's providing for people. I'm curious if you know anyone that's looking to up-level their health, or potentially up-level their finances, or, you know, up-level the community that they're working with. I would just love for you to send them my way, because I found something that's really amazing. And so I networked through people, and that was amazing because it helped me develop the confidence of how to say things. And then also people didn't feel like, oh, she's networking me, like she's just asking. And then most of the time they'd be like, oh, well, that sounds interesting, tell me more. Because they're like, I don't want to be left out. What are you talking about? You know, so I think a big piece of what I did in the beginning was networking through people. And that really built my own confidence and how to have the conversations. So hopefully that's helpful.
Totally. I love it. And Christina says, talk to more people. Talk more. Talk. You want to rise in the company, you have to have a lot of conversations, right, Mary Beth?
Mm-hmm. And I mean, and being bold, like another thing I did a lot in the beginning was like, who's a badass entrepreneur out there that wants to chat with me? Like I would just like do things like that. And I would try to prospect more entrepreneurial minded people versus trying to prospect my friends who were probably more interested in the health. I would be like, how can I get into networks where I can prospect entrepreneurial minded people, because they'll be ready to have the conversation.
Right, right. So great. Wow. We could go on. And you know what? We're at the top of the hour, everybody. This has been so rich. Thank you so much, Mary Beth. We're so grateful for you, for being with us today, for being a part of this incredible Million Mom Movement community, and just continuing to rise and showing us all how it's done. And if you've been inspired by Mary Beth Fleming today, I want to challenge you to get off this call and go prospect, go talk to people, go take some of what you've learned here from Mary Beth and put it into action. Many blessings to you all. Next week, we've got Taz Ferreira, who's going to be doing second part of From Sad to Rad. All right. So join us next week. We cannot wait to see you all. Thank you so much for being a part of this mission. We could not do it without you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Million Mom Movement.
Thank you, Mary Beth.